So, y'all, it looks like from last night's episode, the people that picked up on the fact that Erica Mena wasn't here for Safaree, laughing at their baby girl when she fell on the floor after being knocked over by the guitar in Safaree's studio. Now, in the scene, Safaree is seen laughing, reacting to the baby's falling, and Erica was not here for it. And honestly, neither was I. But we're going to talk about it, okay? Skye Squad, we back in the building, and I just want to let y'all know that this whole situation with Safaree and Erica Mena feels very toxic to me. I'm going to start that right off the back, and we got a lot of Safaree last night, a lot of Erica Mena last night, a lot of Yandy last night, okay, and a lot of young baby Tate, and a lot of Rashida and Kirk last night, okay? I just want to know, where is Mimi? Where is Carly Red? Where is Spice? Where are the people we are most familiar with? Where are they at? Where is Mama D? I know Mama D was going off the other day on the Instagram talking about how the people on this show now are featured and they're not even really from the Atlanta area. Listen, I'm a little bit on Mama D's side, a little bit, because I feel like the reason why Atlanta has always been so great was because they bring you fresh talent and the talent that we get from ATL, you can't find it no place else. That ATL, that hip hop ATL crew is just, it's something different, and I'm really missing it, okay? But we're going to dive on in before we get into this. This situation with the baby falling by the guitar, okay? We're gonna talk about it. It's happening towards the end, so stick around. But if you got opinions about it, go ahead and let me know. Thank you, Thalie Emery, for the super chat. I appreciate you right off the rips, okay? In the chatterization, let me know where you guys are watching from. Oh, I saw somebody ask, where is Tokyo? And Tokyo also indicated that she would not be back on this show, okay? So we won't see no more Tokyo on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. We got Prattville, Alabama, San Antonio, Texas. Somebody said they didn't get the text message. I did send it out, though. Atlanta, we got Louisville, Cary, North Carolina, Waldorf, Maryland, down the street, Pittsburgh, PA, watching from England. Come on through. I think I saw the Netherlands, too. There we go. Newark, Glen Burnie, Kenosha, Wisconsin, Brooklyn, DMV. I see y'all. New Haven, NYC, Delaware, Baton Rouge. I see y'all up in this building. South Carolina, Brooklyn, Dawn from the D, Boston, Harlem in the His Nye. Yeah, I like Tokyo too. Redlands, California, West Palm Beach, Salt Lake City, Utah, South Africa. Come on, Jersey, Grand Rapids. I see y'all coming through in the building. We're going to go ahead and get into this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for season 10, episode 4. In the chatterization, we always start this with our ratings, and I want you guys to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. And I'm going to tell you, for me, I'm going to give it a 6. I'm going to give it a 6 because last night actually felt like a chore as I'm making my notes for it. Okay? It felt like a 6. And it really did have me missing, my regular ATL crew, okay? I need the craziness of Carly Red back up in there. I was hoping to see more of Sierra. Where is everybody at that we so used to seeing? I don't appreciate this, and I understand they are trying to, right, this is what I was about to say, Mavis. They are definitely giving it the family vibes, but you still need some crazy up in there. You know what I'm saying? Every great reality show has a good degree of, off the meter crazy. Mama D provided us with that comedy that we needed. You know, Tokyo provided us with that comedy that we needed. Carly gives us that comedy that we needed. And I just want my people back. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the people that I'm used to. We ain't even getting a lot of Bambi. You know what I'm saying? Not that I feel like Bambi brings the most, but she's at least familiar. Okay. I want the original crew. I understand. I understand it. You know what I'm saying? And I need my people back. But y'all know, as I always say, we're gonna stick it out and stick it through because we're gonna support our people. Okay. And so we're gonna make it through the review. And y'all know when we do our reviews, we still get into it and we're gonna make it spicy where it's not. Okay. So let's get into it. Okay. Let's dive on in. And I missed the original cast too, y'all. Let me just explain it to y'all. And again, I understand it seems like they're trying to go in a little bit of a different, more positive direction. But I also think that we watch some of these shows for a little bit of ratchet. And so you got to get the mix right. It can't just be that you wipe away all the ratchet. We want a little bit of it. You know what I'm saying? But we also want some substance as well. Okay. Now, having said that, we pick up with Infinity walking off from Yandy. Now, see, I thought y'all told me last week Yandy said she was in a toxic relationship with a man. Now, I don't know what Yandy said last week, if she said a man or woman, and not that it matters, but I just want to know because I'm kind of feeling like Yandy was talking around it, okay? But what I will say is I made a note, especially that in this episode, Yandy says that Infinity was in a toxic relationship with an older person, okay? She said an older person. So I didn't hear nothing about no man, okay? So she kept saying an individual or a person or something like that. And again, it don't make me no never mind, but I just wonder what the case really is. Because if you're gonna give us the tea, go ahead and give us the tea, girl. Go ahead and spill the actual tea so we can taste the Lipton. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, you giving us partial tea and you giving us part of the story that we don't have. And whatever that part of the story was, it was a huge part in why Infinity was either acting out or not following the rules of the household. So I just want to know. Anyway, Yandy runs after her, and Yandy is defending Mendices and wants Infinity to realize that it was not Mendices' fault that Infinity no longer had the best relationship with the family. Infinity in her confessional just wants a hug and wants Yandy to realize that she is not her mistakes. Yandy feels like she's ultimately dealing with Infinity's trauma from her mother. Now, thank you for the super chat. Sheree Banks, the show has run its course. It wouldn't run its course if they brought back some of the original people, but I digress. Okay. Here's the thing about, I think that if you are ever choosing to bring in a foster child or you are intending to adopt an older child, that you may also inherit some of that child's trauma. And this is a clear example of them having to deal with Infinity's trauma. And it would probably, and I don't know whether or not they do any type of family counseling or anything like that, but it would probably behoove them to undergo some type of family counseling to navigate these transitions that Infinity is experiencing. And then Infinity herself probably needs some type of counseling as well, because she still has some trauma from feeling abandoned already. So now she's bringing that into this new situation, and it's human nature. So I feel like they definitely need some type of family intervention type style counseling, because this ain't gonna really work. Infinity breaks down on the streets and realizes that Yandy is just giving her some tough love. Yandy says they just need to communicate better and wants Infinity to have a conversation with Mendices, and she agrees. So that was a nice little ending. Okay. At least in the interim. Now, Rashida is at Pressed doing some IG promo. Can I say something about Pressed that I've never said before? I hate that font. I hate the font of that Pressed logo. I hate it as short as the day is long. It looks like something play school, and I just hate it. Okay. Now, having said that, I've given you guys my actual opinion. I will not take away from the fact that it didn't even matter that the font to me looks like Play-Doh. What does matter is that Rashida has made it into something major. So that goes to something that I sometimes battle with, and I think we all battle with. What you do, it ain't got to be perfect for it to succeed. Okay, let that be the lesson. It ain't got to be perfect for you to succeed. Because sometimes we always looking for perfection. We'll spend months and years and decades trying to figure out a logo for our business because we want it to be perfect. But not Rashida. Rashida said, no, I will just slap it on down there and it's going to be what it's going to be. And I'm going to make some money. And I ain't mad at it, okay? I ain't mad at it. They opening up another location. More of that font everywhere we go. Okay, so I want to see Pressed everywhere. Press, 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 press. Font, 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 font. Play-Doh, 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 Play-Doh. I want to see it everywhere. Congratulations, Rashida. Anyway, we got a super chat. Rebecca G says, Infinity only apologized to get back in the house. Her apology sounded like she Googled it. Y'all so silly. Thank you, Rebecca G. Appreciate it. Okay. Give me some more of that font, that Play-Doh font. Okay. Miss Charlene, who is Rashida's mom, walks in. Okay. Let me put that back up on the screen because Rebecca, you funny to you. Now she Googled it. Okay, I'm back. Now Miss Charlene has not been seen in the past couple of months due to the pandemic. Okay. And she wants to throw Cheryl, aka Booby, aka Rashida's older sister, a birthday party. But the birthday party, she wants it to be at the Frost Bistro, which we learned later is just starting to recoup some money from the big fight that had went down between the siblings and their girlfriends. Okay. Now, the relationship between Rashida and her older sister is like this. It's a strained relationship. When they was younger, Rashida used to look up to her. But now all the lady want is Rashida's money. When she come around, she wants some money. Rashida tired of being the bank, okay? Now, mom is the one, Miss Charlene is the one that wants to party at the bistro. But she's tired of also carrying Cheryl. So why have the party at the bistro if you are so sick and tired of carrying this child? I don't understand it, but I guess it makes for a good storyline, okay? Charlene tells Rashida that it's all Rashida's fault for the reason why Booby, aka Cheryl, is the way that she is. And we learned because they enabled her. So Rashida allegedly enabled her, and the mom admits to enabling her too. Okay. But then we learned that the girl that stole from her, okay, the girl that stole from the mama in some way, shape, or form. I don't know whether it was at the Play-Doh Press location in the Houston. I don't know if it was another Play-Doh Press location. I don't know where it was. All I do know is that she said on the TV that the girl had been stolen. Now, if you stealing from me, I ain't giving you no more money because you done already got it. Run with what you stole, okay? Anyway, Erica goes to the OBGYN, okay? And lo and behold, it's Dr. Jackie, okay? And quiet as it's kept, I'm surprised we didn't see a commercial for that Volition beauty serums that she is selling, okay? But anywhere, Dr. Jackie is everywhere, okay? And I'm like, when do you have time to... Anyway, suddenly, Erica is showing, because last week she wasn't, but this week she's showing. It's a miracle, okay? She relays that Safaree wasn't interested in the pregnancy, and she feels consistently humiliated. I can say a lot, but we're going to talk about it later. Okay. Anyway, Dr. Jackie says it's not fair to want Safaree to have a great reaction because Erica herself did not have a great reaction when Dr. Jackie told her she was pregnant. So she can't blame Safaree for not being happy about it when she won't even happy about it herself. Okay. So she's worried about being left all alone with all the responsibility. I hate to tell you, girl, you about to be left alone with all the responsibility because this man is basically a child. Okay. In my eyes, Safaree is a grown child. And now you're going to have to raise 3 babies. Okay. The one that you just had, the one that you about to have, and the one that you married. Okay. Anyway, they're trying to find out what the gender of the baby is going to be. And shockingly, it's a cliffhanger. We don't know yet. Okay. Now, we got some super chats in the building. Let's acknowledge. Denise Demac says Dr. Jackie is about that MF and coin, ain't she? She pops up on every show that's got a new baby involved. And I love it. I love it too. Come on. Anybody giving birth, Dr. Jackie needs to be there. Okay. Thank you for that super chat. We got another one from Rebecca G says Booby definitely Googled her tears. they look super rehearsed. Rebecca, girl, what? Oh, y'all so silly. Oh, we got another one. Destiny. Oh, Destiny with the super chat. Let me dance. Let me give you a little dance on this one. Okay. Let me give you a little dance on this one. If I was a stripper, that's what I would be doing. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for that. That's whew. You Lord, y'all just make my day sometimes. Y'all make my day. Y'all want to head on down to the Los Angeles because that's where young baby Tate is if you care, okay? Because we still don't really know much about her, but we getting to know a lot more about her through her actions with this little boy, okay? And I don't know how old the boy is, Guap Dad or whatever. But anyway, what we do know is she is practicing in the studio, okay? And she says she is booked and busy down to the LA, but she's on the verge of tears on the inside. So in the studio, she's practicing her songs or whatever. But on the inside, she is on the verge of tears from Guap Dad embarrassing her in the previous episode. So of course he calls, interrupting her session. And of course he answers. Now the producer is like, girl, you need to focus. And I'm like, girl, you need to focus. But of course she answers. And lets this man just throw her off her game. And while he's on the phone with her, so he calls her to tell her that she was gaslighting him. Then he hangs up on her. Girl, this was a classic move by what I would consider, and I don't know him, but it seems like narcissistic behavior, okay? Because he called you to get you riled up and then hang up on you, okay? Thus interrupting your whole flow, interrupting your peace of mind. He just pulled a whole Uno reverse on you, okay? Got you riled up, and now you throwing off your game. Now, her manager then shows her that she hit a million views on her I Am video, so she's a little happy again. But that happiness is not going to last for long, okay? It's not going to last for long. Lexi says, hey, DJ, Erica already has a son too. Oh, yes, I forgot she had another baby. I feel like we don't ever see that other baby, but it's her baby, so she can do what she wants. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for that reminder, though. I completely have forgot about that. Rashida then meets with Kirk at the new Play-Doh Press location. And I'm just joking when I call it Play-Doh Press, y'all. I'm really joking. I really think it's dope that she has all these locations. I think that's major and should be it's an accomplishment that should be celebrated. She relays that it's Booby's birthday and that the birthday is today, mind you. This whole episode seemingly all happens in the span of a day, okay? So the birthday is tonight, okay? And Miss Charlene wants the birthday at the bistro. Kirk is annoyed because now he got to pay for it. and they just starting to make back money from the bistro again. And it feels like Rashida keeps getting suckered back into her family mess. Okay. Now, ain't much to say about that because it's true. She wants to have a better relationship with Booby, and Kirk is just like, whatever, y'all just taking my coins. Anyway, Yandy takes Infinity to talk to Mendeecees, okay? Yandy believes that Infinity needs a father figure in her life, and she wants a father figure in her life. Mendeecees schools Infinity that family issues should stay in the household, because y'all know Infinity have threatened to write a tell-all book, okay? And he wants to know if she's going to go to social media the next time they have an issue, or threaten to write a tell-all book next time they have an issue. And she wants him to know that she felt so left out from the family photo that's why she was upset. So then Mendeecees pulls the Uno reverse and says, girl, I was locked up in prison. How you think I felt for 4 years watching y'all take family photos and I wasn't a part of it? Okay. How you think I feel? Okay. Anyway, she says that she wants to right all of her wrongs, okay? Mendeecees realizes that, she has some trauma that needs to be worked out, just like I said earlier, okay? But she needs to communicate. He's willing to take some steps, in the right direction, but he wants her respect. Yandy wants her to come back to the house to see the kids, okay? And when she said that, Mendeecees' face was like, now I didn't agree to this. I agreed to talk to her. I didn't agree to let her in my house. That's what his face said. But what he actually said was that the kids do miss Infinity, but he still on the inside has some trust issues. And then Yandy and then they get a photo of the three of them looking happily ever after. Okay, for a minute. Ebony says Mendeecees is being a hypocrite. As many mistakes as he's made, different times he's put the family in jeopardy. Judy, baby mama mess, etc. Like, bruh, really? Well, you just said a word right there, Ebony Coates. You just said a word, okay? Thank you for that super chat. Didn't think about that. Young baby Tate is now doing a photo shoot with Up Rocks. I said in my notes, I felt like she looked great. And she, of course, asked young Guap dad to meet her after her Spotify interview. And my thought is this. Honestly, girl, if you got all this stuff going on, these are positive things that you got going on in your life. You cannot be chasing after some, and I don't really know what he does. I know he is an artist in his own right. But if you felt like this man embarrassed you, and I understand she is young, but the moment you let somebody embarrass you in your own house, I feel like that's a sign. It's a sign from the Lord. It's a sign from the Lord that you don't ever need to have no more dealings with that person ever again, okay? Because he embarrassed you like numerous ways, basically showing his disinterest in you and your relationship and your trip, okay? Anyway, he meets up with her and basically says he saw a demon in her, okay? And suddenly, she is blaming herself for what he did to her. I was like, he just pulled a whole switch in reverse on you, okay? You are blaming yourself. Now suddenly you was the drunk offending party. Suddenly you are the one who is apologizing to him. And you don't want him to leave you, okay? He really just legit flipped that on her. He says that he likes her, but they should just be friends. And he literally gives her a deuces and is like, peace out, shorty. Okay, I got my camera time and I'm out. This is a sad state of affairs. And Kimberly Keaton hit the nail on the head when she says she doesn't yet know her worth, unfortunately. And that is unfortunate. And given that we're told this story from the perspective of her point of view, I can't really speak too much for what Guap Dad may have experienced with her because that is his story to tell. But from what we are seeing from the lens of the camera and her perspective, It just seems like she literally let this man come into her life, turn her upside down, smack it up, flip it, rub it down, but no oochie coochie. But I'm just saying, he really pulled a whammy on her, and now she is suffering the effects of it. So let this be a lesson to us all, okay, in life in general. Let's stop dealing with uncertain people, okay? Let's stop dealing with uncertain people. The people in your circle, whether they are in your relationships, whether they are in your friendships, whether they are your family or what have you, there should never in any point in time be any uncertainty with anyone that you are dealing with. And if you feel in the slightest way that there is some level of uncertainty, I am telling you right now, and I tell you from experience, get rid of them, okay? Get rid of them. Let them go, okay? If they don't know that if they want to be there or not, let them go, okay? You know, and that's that. That's that. It ain't no knock to that person, but what it is a refusal to deal with uncertainty from the people in your life. It's plenty of things that we can be uncertain about in our own heads, but I don't need to be uncertain about my friends, my family, or my relationships, okay? And that's just not something that I find acceptable in any way, shape, or form at this stage of life, okay? Anyway, back at Yandy's house, she cooking the kids there and she's teasing a special guest. They seem real excited or whatever. And when Infinity comes in and they ask her how long she's staying. And she says this, I'll stay as long as I can. Okay. And I'm like, did you need a place to live? What had happened beforehand before you got here that's leading to this sudden desire to want to be around Yandy? Because it seemed like that's what you really came for, to come back to the family. Now they had previously discussed some baby steps, but Infinity, it seems like she want to move back in right away. Mendices like, well, girl, how long you plan on staying? She says, as long as I can. And Mendices is like, whoa. Now hold up. Yandy, come here. So then they got to go talk. And he says, I prayed for this moment to be back with my family. And I don't want no negative influences rummaging through here after we done got everything situated with our family down here, down to the Atlanta in a whole new city. Okay. I don't want no drama and I don't want no bad news. Okay. So at this point, he feels like he needs for Infinity to deal with her trauma before she can move in. Well, that could take years, to be quite honest with you. If you are waiting for Infinity to finally be free and healed from her trauma at this young age, that could take a very long time. So either, Mendices, you are going to have to be willing to work with this child or not, okay? Because she may be dealing with that trauma for quite some time. Okay? And that's reality. That's real life, okay? It is what it is. And you can't put a timeline on that. That's what I'm trying to say. You cannot put a timeline on how someone heals, especially at that age. So you're going to either have to accept where she is, because teenagers will act out, and you have to say either yes or no, this is okay. But it cannot be conditional on her treating her own trauma. She doesn't yet have the tools to be able to do that alone. Anyway, down to the bistro. Rashida's immediate family is there for her for the birthday party for Booby. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Boo. Appreciate you. Booby feels like she wants to hang out with Rashida, but Rashida don't have time for her because Rashida has got friends like Candy and Toya and Tiny and all them. So Booby don't feel like Rashida got no time for her. Rashida says, well, girl, when I do invite you, you sit in the corner like a lump on a log. I don't have time to be dealing with no lames when I'm hanging out with my cool clique, okay? So Booby starts to cry about everybody thinking she's crazy. And Miss Charlene is like, girl, stop that crying. You too emotional. Ain't nobody falling for this. And that's because apparently, now I don't know if this is the case, but apparently this is Booby's routine where she, gets with the girls, with the family, and then cries about the lack of attention she is receiving. Now, I don't know if that is necessarily the case, but I do feel like if she is crying, you might want to have just a little bit more sensitivity to the fact that your daughter is crying, because nobody at the table has any sympathy for Booby. I do feel like if you're going to allow her to come to the bistro on her birthday, then don't make her cry. Okay? At least have some type of empathy for her while she at the table. Unless you're still mad about what she stole. I don't know. Allegedly, because that's what Miss Charlene has said. Anyway, Booby is crying because she wants acceptance and for Rashida to call and check on her. They decide to work on it and hug it out. But nobody is addressing the real problem, okay? The real problem is the fact that Booby always wants some money, okay? That's the problem. That's the trauma. That's the issue that everybody skirted around at that dinner table and nobody addressed it. Now, I don't know if they were saving it for another day and decided not to do it on the birthday, but that's the real issue right there. It is not this lack of attention. Rashida and her mama are annoyed because this girl continuously asks for money all the time and they don't feel like carrying her no longer. That's the real issue. So y'all gonna need to have a real conversation about whether or not and when you're gonna cut her off, okay, financially. Because you can't continue to take care of a grown woman at this point, okay? Anyway, I wrote in my notes, I miss Mimi and them. Anyway, Safaree somehow now regrets his response to Erica, okay? And him and her telling him that she is expecting, okay? Oh, I wanted to see some of y'all. Right, they skirted around that whole conversation. Erica lets Safaree know he's sitting in the studio. I got to tell y'all the location because that's important to what's about to happen next. He's in his studio in the house. Erica comes in. The baby's in there as well with him, okay? She comes in. She lets him know that she went to the doctor and that she tells him that she told Dr. Jackie his initial reaction. And she concedes that maybe she should have been more lenient on his reaction in the first place, okay? She feels like she needed him and he wasn't there for her after the first baby was born. But he tells her, well, girl, I needed to sleep. I'm sure she needed to sleep too, okay? I'm sure she needed to sleep. But he says he's doing the best job he can, okay, at learning how to be a parent. And not being a parent myself, I can only imagine that your life completely changes from the point where you realize you're having a baby to the point where the baby is born and thereafter. So it really annoys me that he's unwilling to face that change as a grown man. But we're gonna get into that in a second. He wants to know what the next steps are. Are they gonna have a gender reveal? He wants a boy because he does not have a boy. Okay. So he's like, okay, I want a boy. And she's dragging this out. She's dragging it out. Okay, what is it gonna be? Is it gonna be a girl or a boy? And I'm like, girl, if you don't just tell him that it's a boy and let this thing go. Anyway, finally she tells him that he's having a son. Now, right at that moment, that's when the guitar drops on the baby, okay? The guitar drops on the baby falls down on the floor, and Safaree is like this. Okay, this is his reaction. He is sitting there like, oh, snap. And so Erica has to tell him to pick up the baby. Now he's still busy reacting and chuckling at this point. The man is chuckling. He is chuckling, and the baby's on the floor, down the guitar on top of the baby. The guitar, let me tell you, the guitar was laying like this on the baby. The baby is back like this, and the guitar is like this. Okay. So the baby is trapped into the guitar. Erica got to go pick up the baby. She got to go get him. And she's like, you dummy, you idiot. She feels like at this moment is a sign of her having to hold down the babies moving forward. Okay. And he admits to laughing because it was funny. That's what he said. He said, yeah, I laughed because it was funny. It was funny when the baby was trapped under the guitar. I don't think so. No, sir. And then he said this. He said, she needs to know that there's pain in life. You know what? I'm about to throw this phone. And in my notes, I wrote, girl, leave. Leave right now. Leave at this moment. That's the moment that Erica should have just got up and left and just packed her bags and left the house or kicked him out. I don't know. I would have left. I would have gone. I would have been out. It would have been done. The relationship over. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. Denise, right. Denise says that guitar drop was a sign straight from the good Lord. I believe in them signs. I believe in them too. Okay. Now listen. Listen. I will admit that babies and children, I'm sure they fall all the time. I'm sure that a lot of times children and babies may fall and they need to get adjusted to, having little, slip ups here and there as they learn to crawl and walk and whatnot. And I also understand that there will be times like when I learned how to ride a bike. I learned how to ride a bike because my dad, I was on my bike. My dad let me go down the hill by myself. I fell off the bike, but I'm like, I'm a little older at this point. I'm like at least 5 or 6 or something like that. I fall off the bike, but in falling off the bike, what I learned was that, oh, that was it. Okay, cool. I got back on the bike. And there I was riding down the streets. Okay, riding dirty. Okay, on my bike. But I do think that she's such a young. I mean, well, let me say this: the baby is so young that I don't feel like that's an age where you say about a child, well, she needs to learn that there's pain in life. That to me don't make no kind of sense. And that goes into this man's level of thinking and how I just don't feel like he is mature enough for the life that Erica is wanting. But I also must blame Erica a little bit because, listen, this is not a diss on Safaree because some people are just, Safaree wants his life to be a music video. And he's basically said that. I feel like anybody with 2 eyes could have easily seen before they got into a relationship that this man wanted his life to resemble that of a music video. So unless you plan on being simply his video vixen, then you're trying to make this man into what you want him to be, when you know that he is incapable of doing so. I could see that before they got married, but I don't know why she couldn't see it. Because I guarantee you, y'all could see it, okay? I guarantee you, his friends see it, okay? I guarantee you, anybody that's dated him was able to see that, okay? So to me, I also feel like she has to take some ownership in this situation as well. Because, girl, you was not blind to what this man was capable of before you got with him. I don't know if you felt like you could change him, but what I do know is that he ain't showing you nothing different. And I'm just gonna put another a couple of these notes that you guys have placed in the comment section. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't know. As a parent, and this is why I expect for y'all to educate me too. But it may not have been a big deal that because ultimately the child wasn't hurt. I think it was just more about his reaction to the child falling and less about the effects of what happened when you know what I'm saying? It's not about whether or not, in my opinion, whether or not the child was going to be hurt or not. It's really about the fact that, you know, as a parent, you need to learn how to spring into action. And it's not funny when you just let the child lay there because it's indicative of what could happen in a worse scenario. I mean, and I'm not sitting around laughing if my baby is on the ground under a guitar. I'm just not. But that's just me. Okay. But I ain't a parent. So I don't know. And some parent, I mean, listen, some people could just be like, the child done failed 15 times already. She'll be all right. And I'm sure that happens too. I don't know. But what I do know is if it's on TV too, the cameras are right there. Spring into action. Spring into action. Okay. Thank you. It was just weird. It was weird. I don't know, man. Anyway, he also came out with a new song that's called Liar. And the streets was saying that it was about her. Now, obviously, I can't play the song, but I don't know if it's a diss track or not. And I ain't really heard it all, but yeah, I do agree with you on this. Samara hit the nail on the head. They're just two extremes. Safaree makes a joke out of everything, and Erica sometimes is way too hyped up, and they do not mesh. Okay? They just don't mesh at all. And that's that. That's why the situation feels toxic, okay? Listen, y'all, that is our recap of the real love and I'm about to say Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm all off on this. That's how not good this episode was to me. That is this episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, season 10, episode 4. Hopefully next week Sierra's back on the scene. I'm still wondering where Carly Red is. Yeah, we're gonna get more of Amaretta the Great next week. I don't know, y'all. I need for the excitement to pick back up, you know, because it's missing to me. Anyway, with that being said, y'all know, as I always say, I love y'all. If nobody else has told you today, make sure you guys tell somebody else. Share that love, share that energy, and keep it going. And y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to keep this train going, and I will catch you in the next video.